Welcome back to the Beyond the Scoreboard podcast. I'm joined alongside
Lennon Alvarez, the sports editor here at Viewpoints.
Welcome, Lennon. Thanks for having you on. I really appreciate you joining onto this podcast.
I'm super here to be here.
We're going to be starting off with our RCC athletics. We've had our state championships coming up soon, but we've had our prelims coming up. We had our golf stars on the men's side, Ashton Spalding. He made it to the state championship on May 4th. He qualified for it with a two-round score of 150. Shot a 79 in the first round and a 71 on the second round. Finished 15th overall, and he's now into the state championship.
Yeah, super good. You love to see it for golf, especially, a sport that's not really talked much about here at RCC. So you love to see them qualify.
Exactly. I mean, I golf, and I'm very bad at it, but a 71 on a bounce back. You shot 79, bouncing back to 71. I don't know what the course, the par was, but 71 is a very good score.
Yeah.
And then moving on to beach volleyball, we saw 6 all-Orange Empire Conference honors. We had Savannah Smith, Jaden Francher pick up first team for the Orange Empire Conference, and then Kira Iscar, Dana De Leon, Eunice Castro, and Marissa Ramirez were second team.
Yeah, and that's awesome. A lot of these people, they're in the volleyball team too, so, they have experience there, and now they just move straight to beach volleyball.
And Iscar and her teammate, for the first time in 10 years, they beat Orange Coast College.
That's a good feat to have, it must feel good.
Exactly. Beating the team for the first time in 10 years must get the weight off their shoulders, feel like, oh, I have this now. The team now has the idea that they'll be able to come back and potentially win next year.
It's a really good motivator, you had this asterisk on your back, we just can't beat this team, and then to finally beat them, I bet that's an amazing feeling for them.
It definitely is. You have that feeling if you've played sports, I can't beat this team, but it's a great feeling to get off your back. And then moving on to the track and field side. So women's side, they came down to the very last race. They needed a first or second place in the 4x4, and they did just that. They got 3 minutes, 51 and 87 seconds to qualify for the state championship next Saturday on, May 16th?
I believe so,
yeah. May 16th. They got third place, and they'll be heading up to the state championship at Mount Sac.
Yeah, that's awesome for them. Track and field team is really good here. They have a great head coach. He just won Orange Empire Conference Coach of the Year. Shout out Damian Smith.
Yeah, and those athletes, Tiana Burgess won 100-meter hurdles by a full second.
Sheesh.
And then you had Casey Caradis, second in the 100-meter dash, and then Nia Brown, runner-up in the shot put.
Yeah, I spoke to them, a lot of these athletes and the head coach at the Orange Empire Conference Championship here at RCC. They're a very tight-knit team. They work hard. They're always about that grind. So, I'm just so happy for them.
Yeah, I'm happy for them too. We've seen it all year long that they've just been improving. It's always been told by the sports that track and field's always been one of our best sports here at RCC.
Definitely our strongest, I would say.
Yeah, and you just see that keep on moving along throughout the season. And moving on to the men's side.
Oh, boys, this is awesome right here.
Yeah, we got second overall in our SoCal Championship, finishing with 132 team points after Mount Sac. Mount Sac, that's another level, but RCC is right underneath them. But we had some great news come out today, May 11th. Coach McCarron, Men's Track Coach of the Year for the Orange Empire Conference for the 17th straight time.
He's a beast. He's just, I've spoken to him many times, super humble, super down-to-earth guy. He has a great relationship with his team, and, he just dominates.
On our RCC Athletics, they name off the accolades as just Coach of the Year, Coach of the Year, Coach of the Year. He started in 2006 to 2007. The next year, 2007, 2008, he took that championship and took that Coach of the Year. And he stayed here at RCC, winning 17 straight times, not including those COVID years, but 17 straight times for the coach.
Man, I wondered, why are you still here, man?
Exactly.
I love that he's here. He's He must love RCC.
That's what I'm thinking. The Riverside area, the Inland Empire community, he gets to really nourish the track and field athletes first before they get sent on to the 4 years.
I don't know if you looked at the score, but for the Orange Empire Conference Championship, they outscored all the other teams by hundreds of points.
Yeah, I saw that. It's just pure dominance.
Yeah.
And he's just teaching them the ways of how to get better as a track team, as a pure athlete, just bonding together.
And he's just super humble guy, man. I said it before. I always love talking to him when I interview him. He's just he's one of the best coaches to talk to here at RCC.
Exactly. And we had some of the athletes on the men's side. We had Orlando Collins win the 400-meter dash with the 47.53 seconds. You had Omar Sanchez win the shot put with a 15.66 meters. And he won that on his third attempt in the finals. Then they won the 4x4 by .06 seconds, beating out Mount Sac by .06 with a thriller.
It was like that at the Orange Empire Conference Championship. It was I believe it was the 4x400 relay, but they had a lock in at the last moment and they barely got first place.
Yeah, with that, you just got to have that extra edge of just kind of flying towards the finish.
You got to get that second win.
Yeah, that last little hoorah, kind of the kick that many athletes do say for track and cross country. It's just the very kick at the end. You have the adrenaline pumping. You're not going to let the person behind you beat you.
No.
We also had Zolan Frank led a trio in the hammer throw, with him finishing runner-up with a toss of 51.89 meters. We had a second place was Alex Wesolowski in the 1,500-meter race. And then in the 100-meter dash, we also had a runner-up with Matthew Lolino. Yeah. Just great dominance from these athletes. I'm very interested to see how they're going to do this Saturday at the state championship.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm sure they have a lot of motivation. McCarran winning 17th straight head coach of the year, so they're rolling in.
Exactly. And he won last year for the state championship, state coach of the year. We'll see if he can do that this year. That would be just pure excellence from the guy.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either. He's taken these RCC programs to the very top echelon level. And moving on to the Riverside Sports Hall of Fame, Lennon, I know you covered it.
I did cover it.
You can just discuss this. I know you went to it and you enjoyed it and wrote a story about it, so I'll leave this to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was at CBU. It was one of the best events that I've ever covered. A lot of people from Riverside were there. A lot of athletes too, just famous people who've been inducted into that Hall of Fame. They had Reggie Miller, in one of their first years, be inducted in there. So yeah, a lot of people have got to wear the red coat.
That's pretty cool.
The red blazer, I mean. But yeah, this year, we had a lot of people there. We had a former mayor, Rusty Bailey, receive the Chuck Kane Award. Super good to see him. He actually used to be my history teacher.
Oh, that's very interesting to hear about that, Lennon.
Yeah, and then RCC Tigers, man, we got a lot of representation over there. Juliana Capero, she was there representing RCC, and then I'm blanking on the name. Luke Madeir was there too. So we had a lot of young RCC athletes being there too. Representing the Tigers, future of RCC. And then as for people from RCC who got inducted, we had Bill Mumma. I mean, they were hyping him up crazy over there. They're calling him the godfather of sports in Riverside. He coached here back when it was Riverside Junior College, so RJC, and he coached track and field, baseball, and football. So yeah, he laid a lot of the groundwork here.
Yeah, and with Juliana and Luke, Juliana got the first ever RCC Scholar Squad and was on the Intercollegiate Tennis Association Scholar Athlete last year.
I mean, she's really good at tennis, so what can I say? Her and her sister, they were the doubles of the year. So, yeah, and then sadly, this is Juliana's last year here, so she's going to be missed.
Yeah, but that shows you that she's also prioritizing school as well as her sport.
Right.
And then you had Luke Madeir. He was at Riverside Poly 2 years ago. He graduated.
Go Bears.
He's going to be graduating with 208 at-bats, 66 hits, 15 doubles, 3 triples, and 1 home run. He had 45 runs batted in. 45 runs scored and 49 runs batted in.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, it's baseball. We couldn't really get that far. Championship.
It does suck to see them stop after the second round, but
Yeah.
it does show that, we do have these players who are looking to take these next steps.
Yeah, I mean, we have star athletes here at RCC. And then a member of the athletic training staff, Todd Babcock, received the Presidential Award. So, yeah, I mean, shout out to him. I mean, he hasn't missed a football game since 1993.
That's, 23 years? Or is that 33 years?
I believe that's like around 30 years.
30 years of just being there, being the head trainer. It shows some determination.
Total dedication.
Yeah, dedication to the squad. And, was there any other notable things that might have happened at the Hall of Fame?
At the Hall of Fame? We had a head coach from Poly, where I went to high school, for women's swim. She got inducted. Shout out to her. CBU head coach, Rick Croy. He got inducted. I believe this is his last year at CBU. Won so many games with CBU. I mean, had undefeated seasons with them. So that was special for CBU for sure.
You said it was held at CBU. And speaking of CBU, we have the softball World Series coming up soon. With the SoCal area, you have the Los Angeles Regional. This Friday, May 15th. We're going to be having games on ESPN around this local area in the Inland Empire.
Shout out for my sister for having the subscription.
Me too. But we have University of South Carolina facing Cal State Fullerton at 7:30 p.m. on the ESPN app. That's completely other side of the country. You have South Carolina coming out here in the Los Angeles Regional to face Cal State Fullerton.
What are you guys doing in the Los Angeles Regional?
You couldn't ask me, but this is going to be a good matchup. You have Cal State Fullerton. A notable player is Colby McClinton. She is batting .404 on the year with an 1172 OPS. Just domination from her.
I'm biased, but I have Cal State Fullerton.
I do too. I have siblings that go there. I think Cal State Fullerton gets this edge. There's probably their best sport at Cal State Fullerton.
They have a clean baseball and softball program. They're just dominating at it. While other schools are known for football mostly. I mean, you have this Cal State that just is a baseball softball powerhouse. And you have a ton of people from the MLB who went there, Kurt Suzuki and others.
Yeah, Kurt Suzuki, the Angels manager now. I'm an Angels fan.
I'm an Angels fan too.
We haven't been the greatest this year, but
we can't be as good as Cal State Fullerton.
I think Cal State Fullerton gets the edge over this at 7:30 p.m. on May 15th. And then right after that game for the LA Regional, very Riverside-owned CBU, Cal Baptist, faces number 8 in the country, UCLA.
Should we start playing the violin for CBU, Andrew?
Yeah, you're going to have to start playing that violin because UCLA, you have Megan Grant. She's also on the women's basketball team. She's more known for softball, with her just now breaking the NCAA Division I single-season home run record.
Wow.
She hit her 38th home run of the season. They did lose to Nebraska, who's the number 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament, 7-2 on May 9th. But 38 home runs on the season.
I mean, you got to feel for CBU in March Madness for women's basketball. UCLA destroyed them. So, they're probably going to want revenge. I don't think they're going to get it.
I don't think so either. I mean, it's CBU. They're from the what? WAC?
From the WAC?
Are they from the Western Athletic Conference or?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe they're from the Western Athletic Conference versus the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean,
You have two different set of athletes. Megan Grant versus Kenzie Ferry Pilone. Not to discredit them at all for CBU, but
there's just levels to this.
there's levels to this. You don't hear about CBU as much as UCLA. And speaking of Megan Grant, she has 85 career home runs in her career at UCLA, which is just now 5 away from the all-time record.
She's probably gonna break it.
In this tournament, I think she breaks it.
Yeah, I mean, man, you got to feel for CBU again. I mean, UCLA is just their bane, I guess. They can't escape them.
It's kind of crazy to have the women's basketball team face against UCLA, and then now the softball team is conspiracy theory. I don't know.
Maybe someone has something against CBU.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could have thrown South Carolina versus UCLA, and then CBU versus Cal State Fullerton, the IE. But they want UCLA.
Someone has something against CBU.
I think so too. They don't like this Riverside area, but I think UCLA does win this game. It can be a little bit different just because baseball and softball, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, different sports for sure.
Definitely different sports. And speaking of UCLA, they're the number 1 team in college baseball. They are, I believe, 5 wins away from breaking the all-time record.
For wins?
For
in
wins
a season or all
wins
time?
in a season.
Wow.
They're like 47 and I think 5. They just beat Oregon, who's the number 8 team in the country, and they swept them. They might have taken 2 out of 3, but they are on another level compared to everybody else.
We thought Fullerton was great at baseball, softball. I mean, look at UCLA.
I mean, those athletes at UCLA are just they're different.
They're built different.
You have Rock Shalowski, number 1 projected pick in the MLB draft. He's batting like 400 on the year, making all these top plays. UCLA's in for a good season.
We said earlier, there's levels to this.
There is levels to this, and UCLA, they are at another level.
Yeah. They're the top level. They're the final boss.
Exactly. And they have top prospects to head into these future pro sports. Like I said, Rock Shalowski for MLB. And then you have other players for the WNBA with Gabriela Jaquez. You have all these players just coming from UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, you have UCLA after that Match Martinez performance, there's definitely a lot of GMs who have their eyes on them.
Exactly. And speaking of professional sports, we have the NBA playoffs happening right now.
Rest in peace to my Lakers.
OKC, I still think they would have won with Luka, but it would have been a different story.
It would have been a different story. It would have been a sweep. Yeah, I mean, when you have the refs as your teammate too, it's going to help a lot.
But speaking of the refs, they called a flagrant 2 yesterday on Mother's Day, May 10th, against Wembanyama.
Yeah, I saw he got ejected.
Yeah, he was wrestling for a rebound, and they didn't call a foul on Jaden McDaniels, but he just elbowed Naz Reid right in the neck, and he got ejected, and that ultimately led to the Timberwolves winning the game.
Yeah, I mean, tough series. I have Timberwolves.
I want the Timberwolves. I like Anthony.
I like Ant too. Ant-Man.
Yeah, but these playoffs are kind of interesting. We almost had the 1 seed Pistons go down in the first round.
Yeah.
The East is on a whole nother story. We don't talk about the East. The West is
that's where the real fun's at.
The West is where the real fun's at. We just had the NBA draft yesterday on Mother's Day as well. The Wizards got the number 1 pick where, you have AJ DeBonsta.
He did not look happy.
No, he did not. And then you also had Darren Peterson. Speaking of CBU, he was on the Kansas team that faced CBU. So CBU is just being brought back into this.
Yeah.
And it shows that, CBU, they got a good little squad out there.
They do have a good squad. When I was there for the Sports Hall of Fame, they had a bunch of banners. D1 lives here. They're making their mark on D1. I mean, obviously they're not going to find crazy success right away. It's a slow build, but they're getting there.
Exactly, and they're moving up to the Big West now, where they will be facing Cal State Fullerton from time to time.
Those will be good matchups for sure.
Exactly. And UCR, I believe they are also in the Big West.
Right, yeah.
So you'll have that heated rivalry with CBU and UCR.
There can only be one in Riverside.
Exactly. And is it going to be the University of California or the California Baptist University?
UCR, they've also had great baseball players there. Joe Kelly was there. So they have, strong resume too. But, if CBU continues to grow, they might be the premier college in Riverside.
Exactly. All these Inland Empire kids, if CBU's looking at you, they might be the choice.
Yeah, hey, baseball players, Poly, Arlington King, lock in. Exactly. You're going to have eyes on you.
Exactly. And, CBU holds a camp every year for baseball for all these high school teams to play on their field.
Right.
So, CBU is always going to be that lower level you think, but they're making their way back up.
Yeah, you love to see it, for like people who do want to make pro sports in Riverside. They have these options to go to get there.
Exactly. And then, just from RCC, we had Nacho Alvarez.
Right, he hit his first home run recently.
Yeah, I know he hit one in the WBC.
Right.
I don't know if he's back up with the Braves, but he's in AAA. He's made it to the majors. It shows that RCC is a pipeline for sports.
Yeah, and you just have a bunch of other athletes from Riverside too. Bobby Bonds went to Poly High School. Kawhi Leonard from Riverside. Reggie Miller. You have a lot of top guys from Riverside, so it's possible.
Exactly. And then Bobby Kielty, he was from RCC.
Right.
He played in the MLB. I'm fortunate enough that I know his daughter.
Nice.
Yeah, they went to my high school, but Bobby Kielty, he also coaches at Elsinore High School in Wildomar, California. They won state last year for baseball, so shows that RCC has this pipeline of players that will potentially make it to the pros.
Yeah, Jesse Chavez, he went to RCC. He's played for a bunch of teams, from RCC, made it to the pros, So, yeah, you have a lot of people.
Exactly, and he's now a coach for the Giants. He's their pitching coach.
Mm-hmm.
RCC, they have it in store for people to go up and transfer to these UCs, these Cal States, these four-year universities, and then they're going to make it to the pros potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you love to see it.
Exactly. That's all we have for this podcast today. Thank you, Lennon, for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, exactly. We loved having you on, Lennon. We had Julian last time, Ernie the past 2 times. It's great having new people each time. But this is the Beyond the Scoreboard podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Gibbs, and I was joined alongside Lennon Alvarez today, the sports editor here at Viewpoints. And this was the Beyond the Scoreboard podcast. We'll be here every other week. Thank you for listening.